If you are looking to get rich quick or some easy way out, some shortcut, please skip this video. But if you're still here, I'd like to make an assumption about you. You're watching this at some ungodly hour, probably after seeing another 19-year-old posting screenshots of their 50K month, and you're sitting there thinking, that should be me. Now here's my second assumption. You've already tried dropshipping before, maybe some form of e-commerce, maybe you spent a few $100 on ads, or you never even launched because you got paralyzed looking for the perfect product. Either way, it didn't work, and now you're wondering if this whole thing is even real. So let me show you what actually happened. You didn't fail at dropshipping, you failed because nobody showed you the actual system. Like, most people think dropshipping is about finding one winning product and riding it to the moon. But here's what actually happens to most beginners. They find something that works, they ride it until it fatigues, and then they scramble to find the next shiny object. That is not a business. That is an endless cycle of starting over. Real dropshipping, it's about building systems that consistently find and test products that work. I'm going to show you the exact process, the same 30-day blueprint that took me from counting change for gas money to having absolute freedom to book a flight on a random Tuesday because I feel like it. Now, this isn't about overnight success. You're probably going to test products that fail, and that is a part of the process. But if you actually follow what I'm about to show you, you'll have a real business by the end of it. So let's stop watching other people's success stories and build your own. All right, so week one, this is where a big chunk of people completely screw up even from the beginning. They jump straight into building a store or running ads without having any idea what they're actually selling or who they're selling to. So this entire first week, we're doing nothing but product research. Now, before we start, let's talk money. If you've got, let's just say $500 to start with, here's how you should think about it. $200 we're going to set aside for ads, $100 for any tools and apps, and $200 buffer for any mistakes. If you only have $200 in total, cut everything in half and be more tactical with your testing. Now, before you start hunting, you need to understand what separates products that make money from ones that don't. Now, most people, they get excited about cool gadgets or trendy items, but that's not what matters. What matters is very simple. Will this be profitable? Is there genuine demand, and can I actually handle selling this? Now, when I'm evaluating products, here's what I focus on. Can you make decent profit per sale after everything? And I'm talking about product cost, shipping, ads, transaction fees, all of it. You need to have enough margin to actually make this worth your time. Now, the products that work, they solve problems people actively have, not necessarily problems you think that they should have, because if people aren't already looking for solutions, you're not gonna create some sort of demand from scratch. So the first thing that you're gonna do is create a fresh Instagram account specifically for product research. You don't want to use your personal account. It's already trained on what you like, not what other buyers may want. So you want to start scrolling through your feed and look for any sponsored content or videos that are going viral, getting good traction, that include a product. Every single time that you see one, I want you to engage with it. I want you to like it, save it, click through to see where that goes, whether it's the shop now button or the learn more button. Click through and get to the website. What we're doing here is we're telling the algorithm, I'm someone who wants to buy products online. And what you're gonna notice is that within the next 20 to 30 minutes, your feed will start showing you more and more product ads. Now, here's the thing. For the first few days, I just want you to collect. Save everything that catches your eye, and you need anywhere from 20 to 30 potential products before you start filtering. And for each product, you really want to read every single comment. You're looking for desperation, not simply casual interest. So for example, comments like, I've been searching everywhere for this, or this would have solved my biggest problem. These are great examples. Now we're finding who's already selling these products successfully. So for each of your products, use the Meta ad library to see who's running ads. And you want to be looking for ads that have been running for 3+ weeks. Now, if someone's spending money on the same ad for weeks, they are making money. It's pretty simple. No one's just going to spend money on an ad if it's not making the money, because Facebook ads are very expensive. But don't just look at the ads, read those comments. Are people sharing stories about needing the product? Are they tagging friends? That's going to be real demand that you need to be looking for. Then you want to find where your customers actually hang out. So if you're selling, for example, pet products, you want to find dog owner groups, pet training forums on Reddit, wherever it may be. Just try and observe what problems are people constantly complaining about. What solutions are they desperately asking for? Now, here's where we get into the math. You need to figure out which of these products are actually worth pursuing and which ones you should just forget about. So for each remaining product, I want you to calculate your real profit, your costs, your selling price, what you're realistically spending to get each sale, and all the fees and other costs. So here's a simple way to think about it. If you're selling something for $50, you might spend anywhere from $15 to $25 on ads to get that sale when you are starting out. So add in your product costs, your shipping, transaction fees, and you need to make sure that there's still decent money left over. If the math doesn't work out to solid profit margins, move on to the next product. Now go to Amazon and find the exact product or something very similar. and you want to read the 2 and 3 star reviews, because these will tell you exactly what's wrong with the current solutions. And that right there is going to be your competitive angle. Then it's decision time. I want you to pick your top 3 products. You don't need some like crazy complex scoring system. Just pick 3 that have the following: have real profit potential, have people genuinely wanting them, and you can market better than what's already out there. That's it. Look, you might be tempted to speed through this. Don't do that. This week determines whether you make money or you lose money over the next month. Now, by the end of week 1, you should have 3 validated products that solve real problems for people who are already spending money on solutions. Now, if you don't have that, stay in week 1. Don't move forward until you do. The key is completing each task thoroughly, whether that takes you 7 days or 4 days. Rushing through this without doing all the actual work is where people fail. Now, most successful dropshippers spend 80% of their time on product research and 20% of their time on everything else. All right, so week 2, you've got your products. Now we actually build something. But here's where I'm going to save you weeks of headaches. Most people overcomplicate this process trying to build the perfect setup before they even know what works. We're going to keep it simple. This entire setup is really about 2 things: getting your store live and creating the content that's going to be driving sales. And that's pretty much it. We're not trying to build the next Amazon here. We're trying to build something functional that can start making money, aka your MVP, your minimum viable product. So now that we've found a product to build this brand around, the next step is setting up a store that actually converts. But before we build anything, we need a solid brand name. And to be completely upfront, I'm not the most creative person when it comes to coming up with a brand name or really anything creative. So I prefer to use AI towards my advantage. If you are, then all power to you. But I like to use this website right here called Design. So I like to use this AI business name generator. So all you have to do is type in some keywords related to the products that you want to sell or within the niche that you want to sell. So let's just say I do CrossFit, gym, workout, and then we'll generate from there. All right, so we have Iron Forge, Powerhouse, CrossFit Zone. We can also toggle between the length if we want it to be short, medium, long, various styles. Let's do something creative and then update. All right, so let's just say, for example, that I like this Iron Pulse name right here. It's gonna populate logos for us, but before that, we need to make sure that the name is gonna be available. So you just go to websites and then domain names, and then we could type in Iron Pulse. And what we're looking for here is the .com domain. And we can see that Iron Pulse is not available. Iron and Pulse is available. So if we wanted this Iron Pulse name really bad, we could just do something like Iron Pulse Official or Shop Iron Pulse. So we can see that Iron Pulse Official is in fact available. So all you really have to do is press buy now. It's going to be $16 for the year. And this is going to be that .com domain, so that anytime someone types in ironpulseofficial.com, they're going to get redirected to your Shopify store. So definitely something that we are going to want. So now that we have the domain secured, to get a logo, it's super simple. We just go to logos, and then from here, we don't need the official. We just do like Iron Pulse, and then we can play around with the styles. You could go fitness. Let's try and see what corporate looks like. Corporate looks pretty good. Wordmark, corporate. So this actually looks pretty solid. It's clean, it's basic, don't really need the slogan right there. Just like that, and you can play around with the various colors. You can add any customizations, and if I want this domain, all I have to press is download. So within a matter of minutes, I was able to come up with a brand name that sounds like a legit company. I was also able to get that .com, so that anytime someone types in the brand name .com, they're gonna get redirected to my website, and then a high quality logo to make my brand feel fresh, to make it feel like a legit company. Now here's the thing, having a solid brand name isn't just about looking professional or sounding cool. It's actually about the conversion psychology. So when someone lands on your store, they're making split-second decisions about whether to trust you with their money. With that said, a well-branded store just converts better. It's that simple. People feel more confident buying from a brand that sounds legit than they do from a random website that looks and sounds like it was put together. Timing beats perfection every single time. Now, most people treat store building like they are creating the next Apple website. They want everything pixel perfect before they launch. While you're spending 3 weeks perfecting your homepage, someone else just launched a basic store with the same product and is already making money. And I learned this the hard way. Now, my first store took me a month to build because I was obsessing over every little detail. And by the time that I launched, that product had already been saturated by someone who moved faster than me. Now, the market doesn't care if your store wins design awards. It cares if your store can handle orders and make people feel confident buying from you. Now, here's what I wish someone had told me And that speed is your biggest competitive advantage when you are starting out. The faster that you can get a functional store live, the faster you can start testing what actually works. And the crazy part is that the tools that we have now make this stupidly easy. What used to take me weeks can literally be done in under an hour. And I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to do that. And this right here is the best AI store builder at this time of recording. The first thing that you need to do is sign up for Shopify. You can go down to the description and I'll leave this discount link right here that will give you a free trial, and then it'll only be $1 a month for the next 3 months. That should only take a minute or two, but after you've signed up and paid that $1 for the store builder itself, it's called Dropmagic, and I'll link it in the description of this video. All you have to do is pick an AliExpress product, or you can get the website from your main competitor. Say for example, I wanted to sell this product. I have the AliExpress link here, and I also have the brand that I want to replicate or emulate. We recommend that you actually copy the competitor store link because it's going to do its market research. It's going to look at this website, figure out why it's working, and then use that as inspo. So all you have to do is copy and paste, and it's analyzing the store, it's doing its market research, and it's trying to figure out how this company has angled this product based on the current copy that's on the website. From here, obviously, I want to select English, and then who are you selling to? So here we're trying to find our target audience. So now it's going to give us the various hook angles to choose from. So let's go the anti-aging angle right here. So we'll select that, and then we will select all the other images as well. And then we're going to go to our store. All right, so as you can see, it's starting to build out the template, and off of first glance, look at how good that it looks. It's doing its market research and it's coming up with a copy. And my favorite part about this builder specifically is how interactive they make this. You can see that we can make adjustments on screen simply like this. The UI is just so clean. So if I want to change this color scheme to blue, I can do it just like that with the click of a button. And then we have the various color palettes, primary, secondary, accent, the icons, the border radius, so on and so forth. It's structured extremely well, and the copy is in line with what we initially chose, targeting our ICP, our ideal customer profile, along with that hook angle that we chose, which is anti-aging. It's also been able to pick up reviews and add in real reviews from the product. Of course, when you're editing, you do want to see how this looks on mobile. So most of your editing, you want to edit on this screen, mobile screen. And if you want to see how the store looks like live at that moment, you simply scan this QR code with your phone and you can see how it looks. So if you want to add in any other product, all you have to do is press add a new product, insert the AliExpress link of that product, and then it's going to be added to your product catalog. So I've went ahead and already built out the store. This is the homepage. I basically just inserted some more images. I played around with a copy and some of the structure, but we can see it looks pretty similar to the original, but the main structure does look a lot better. And then I add the before and after, just like that. Some imaging, scarcity, social proof, and this is what it looks like on mobile. Images look pretty clean. You have the drop downs, images, sliders, and here my ICP African American person, because that's how my competitor was going about their targeting as well. And so if I am currently happy with all the adjustments that I have made and I'm ready to publish, all you have to do is press this publish button, connect your store. If you guys don't already have a Shopify store, we have a $1 offer linked for 3 months. So Shopify for $1 for 3 months. Really, really good deal. You're not going to get it cheaper anywhere else. So you can sign up there. If you do already have a Shopify store, you can simply press existing Shopify store, link up your Shopify account. All right, so the new store has been published. I personally like to do all my changes on the Dropmagic editor just because I think it's a lot easier to do it on screen just like this. But if you'd rather do it on Shopify and move around these sections, that's totally fine as well. If we go on to the product page itself, it's going to be here. It's going to look exactly how we just had it. So any adjustments that you want to make to either the title, the media, so any of the images, you can rearrange them, you can change them out, you can delete them, and the price you would all do on the product page specifically. You wouldn't do it on the Shopify theme page editor or on Dropmagic. Now, the main thing is that you're not trying to build the perfect store. You're just trying to build something functional so that you can focus on what actually drives sales, and that's content content that gets people to buy. All right, so now that we've got your store sorted, we need to create the content that's actually going to drive sales. And this is where things get really interesting, because most people think that they can just grab some random video from the supplier, throw it up as an ad, and immediately start making money. That is not how any of this works, at least anymore. Maybe in 2018 when people were less hesitant purchasing online, but not now. So the first thing that you need to do is understand that successful ads follow specific patterns, and well, they're not random at all. The people spending thousands of dollars a day on ads have figured out what works, and we can literally just reverse engineer their approach. So here's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to go back to the Meta ad library, and I want you to find your top 3 to 5 ads for similar products or the same product that you're selling from your competitor brands. Now, they're likely going to be a ton of different videos, images, text copy, but we're looking for ads that have been running for weeks or even months. Now, if someone's spending money on the same ad for that long, they are making money. Now, I want you to watch these ads and take notes on the following. What problem do they lead with within the first 3 seconds? How do they demonstrate the product working? What is the main benefit that they keep hammering? What is their call to action? Now, here's what we are going to create. We're going to create 3 different ad angles for the exact same product, and you're probably wondering why 3. And that's because you have no idea which message is going to resonate with your audience until you test it. Angle number 1 is going to be your problem solution. So you want to start with the problem being absolutely terrible, then show your product solving it perfectly. And this is going to work best with products that solve obvious pain points. So angle 2 is going to be pure demonstration. So just show the product working. And in this one, there's going to be no need for you to do any fancy storytelling, no elaborate, crazy setups. Just here's the product, here's what it does, here's how it helps you. Angle 3 is going to be social proof. So I want you to lead with an audio, like, for example, this product is trending everywhere right now. You've probably seen that before. Or see why thousands of people can't stop talking about this. So show multiple real customers actually using and enjoying the product. And in the end, you can create some sort of urgency with phrases like almost sold out or limited quantity. Now, before you even open up your video editor or you have someone do any editing for you, here's what you need to do. You need to take one of those winning ads that you found in the Meta ad library and use it as your control video. And I'm talking about literally having your phone out while you are creating your version, or give this specific video to your editor. Now, you're not copying it word for word, but you're using it as a template for structure. So things that you should be thinking about are: how long is their hook? When do they show the product demo? Where do they put their strongest benefit? And how do they end it? So let me show you exactly what I mean. So if their ad goes problem, product, demo, benefit, call to action, then yours should follow that exact same flow, just with new clips and messaging. So for the actual creation, you can use CapCut or honestly any free editor that's out there on the internet. Don't overthink this part. This is going to be your formula. I want you to keep them short, so around anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds. This also depends on how long your control video is. So if it's 10 seconds, then run it as 10 seconds. If it's 45 seconds, then run it as 45. Text overlay, calling out the main benefit. Show the product actually working, not just sitting there looking pretty. And the main thing is, you're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. This is something that a lot of you guys need to try and get in your head, because someone has already figured out what works. Just adapt their structure with your product, and that's going to be way easier than starting from scratch, trying to do this from absolute ground zero. Now, here's the thing. Ugly ads with the right message will outperform beautiful ads with the wrong message every single time. So focus on the message, not making it look like a Hollywood production. So we are at the end of week 2, and let me tell you what you should have by now. You should have a professional looking store that doesn't scream dropshipping, 3 different ad creatives ready to test, everything set up and ready to launch. Now, is your store going to be perfect? Probably not. Are your ads going to be the best thing that anyone has ever seen? I doubt it. But the good thing is that you've got something functional that can actually start making money. And that's way further than 90% of people ever get. Because most people are still watching videos trying to find the perfect product while you're about to start collecting real data from real customers. All right, so I know some of you guys are thinking, this makes sense, but what if I mess up on the ad creation part? What if I waste money testing the wrong way? Here's the thing. I've already burned through tens of thousands of dollars learning what works and what doesn't. Now, the difference between me now and me 5 years ago isn't talent. It's that I've made nearly every expensive mistake already. And that's why I've opened up my one-on-one mentorship program. So instead of you figuring this out over the next 6 months of trial and error, we fast track everything for you and give you the proper guidance and resources to get the best possible results. Now, our team works directly one-on-one with you. We find products together, we review your ads before you launch, we look at your data and tell you exactly what to optimize. It's like having legit 8-figure partners guiding you for 10 weeks. And we can only work with a few people because we're actually in there with you, not just sending you course videos and being like, figure it out yourself. So if you're interested and have the grit, desire, and discipline to actually take this serious, there's gonna be a link below for you to apply. But whether you work with us or not, the main thing is that you've got to actually execute on what I'm about to show you, because week 3, this is where everything that we've just built gets put to the test. All right, you guys, so week 3, this is where the rubber meets the road. You've got your store built, you've got your content created, and now you're actually gonna start spending money on ads. Now I get it, this is probably the most nerve-wracking part for most of you. You're scared you're gonna lose money, you're scared your ads aren't gonna work, you're scared you picked the wrong product. And that is completely normal, you are not the only person. But here's how I want you to think about it. You're not spending money, you are buying data, and that data is what's gonna make you profitable. So this entire week is about getting campaigns live and collecting real market feedback. And we're not gonna be going crazy with budgets. I see a lot of beginners launching with $200 a day budgets on their very first campaign. That's not testing, that's basically gambling. So here's exactly how you structure your testing this week. So first, a $25 to $50 a day total budget via a CBO, campaign budget optimization. That's it. One ad set with broad targeting, because Facebook's algorithm is way smarter than your guesses about who your ideal customer profile is. 3 ad creatives testing your different angles within the same ad set. And I want you to optimize for purchases from day one, because we want Facebook to find people that actually buy things, not just view things. And the main thing is that don't touch anything for the first 3 to 4 days minimum. Seriously, I see too many people tweaking their campaigns, touching things after 8 to 12 hours, and they're like, I don't know why this isn't working. Well, it's because you keep touching things. And that's because you're not giving the algorithm enough time to actually optimize. So after 3 to 4 days of data, here's when you know that an ad is dead. So if you spent 2 to 3 times your selling price with 0 sales, kill it. So if you're selling a product, for example, for $40 and you spent already $80 to $120 with nothing, it's done. If your click-through rate is below a 0.8% after you spend a decent amount of money, kill it. That means that people just aren't interested in your creative, so they aren't clicking through from your ad to your website, or they aren't interested enough to. And if you're getting 0 add to carts after spending 1.5 to 2 times your product price, kill it. That's just a clear signal that your product or your messaging isn't connecting. Now, if you're getting add to carts but no sales, that's usually going to be a price or shipping problem. People, they clearly like the product enough to add it to cart, but there is something that's scaring them off of the checkout. So by midweek, you're going to have some data to work with. Maybe one ad is completely dead. Maybe another one got a few clicks but no sales, and maybe, just maybe, you have one that got someone to actually buy something. Here's what you're gonna wanna do. Turn off all the losers and put all that budget into whichever ad is getting the best response. So instead of 3 different ads spending $15 each, or however much money being allocated to those ad sets each, you've got one of those ads with the $45, $50 a day budget. So the same total spend, but now you're feeding the ad that's actually getting some traction. And I know what you're thinking, but Andy, what if none of my ads are profitable yet? And that's totally fine, because you're looking for signals of life, not for immediate profitability. And what I mean by that is, let's just say, for instance, that you spent $100 and you've made $80 in revenue. So you're still technically losing money. It's not a winner yet, but it's showing some potential because people are actually buying your stuff. That's what you optimize and work with, not the ads that are getting 0 response. And what I really want you to do is not to get emotional with this stuff, because these losing ads are most likely dead unless you make any major changes to them. So the main thing is that identifying which creative is connecting with people, even if the numbers aren't profitable yet. So by the end of the week, best case, you've got a few sales and you're close to breaking even. More realistic, you've probably got 1 or 2 sales and you know exactly what needs fixing. Worst case, you have no sales, but you know why, and that is not a failure. That's just information for your next test. Here's what I want you guys to realize. Your first campaign is probably gonna lose money, and that's totally normal. When you spend $200 on ads this week, you're not losing $200. You're buying data on which creatives work, what your true customer acquisition cost is, and real market feedback. Now, here's what is gonna separate you from everyone else who quits after seeing some red numbers. Most people watching this will never actually implement it. They'll watch, take notes, maybe bookmark it, and then go look for an easier way tomorrow. And I get it, it's way easier to keep watching videos than it is to actually do the work. It's way more comfortable to stay in learning mode than to risk your $200 on ads that might not work. But here's the thing about staying in planning mode is that you'll never know if this works for you until you actually try it. And you can watch 1,000 videos about dropshipping, but none of that matters if you never launch your first campaign. The people making real money in this space, they're not the smartest ones. They're not the ones that have the most resources. They're the ones who actually implement what they learned. So here's what's gonna happen. If you actually follow this plan, I mean, really follow it, not just think about following it, you'll have something real by the end of this month. Maybe it's $500 in revenue, maybe it's $2,000, maybe you're breaking even, maybe you're even profitable. The exact numbers don't matter. What matters is that you'll have a real business foundation, real data, real experience, and that's worth way more than any course or video you could watch. Most importantly, you'll know if this works, not because someone told you it works, but because you proved it to yourself. So stop planning and start executing. Your first product research session starts today. And when you've got your first winning campaign running profitably, that's when you can come back for the scaling playbook. But you've got to earn that conversation first. Let's get to work.